supporting Peachy Pilates. Today's workout's bar inspired. We're calling this one Barre Bliss. It's going to be total body experience. We're starting standing up, and you are going to need something for this workout. I'm going to use a bar stool, but you just need some sort of surface to hang on to for some of our standing work, and we're also going to do some plank work there with that surface. So either a countertop, I could also use this table behind me. It doesn't have to be as high as this bar stool, but just something, maybe the back of a chair that you can hang on to. We'll go ahead and get started with our hands on whichever surface you are using, and then you're just going to keep walking back until your body's about folded in half. Think kind of like a number 7. Feet are underneath my hips. Feet are nice and parallel. I'm going to creep my shoulders all the way up into my ears, sending my tailbone back, trying to get it further back behind my heels. So a nice big stretch for my spine, decompressing my vertebra, thinking head in one direction and tailbone all the way across the room. Now from here, I just want you to take your belly button and pull it towards your spine. So you're not letting that belly hang out in gravity, but you're nice and long and nice and active in that core. Now you always have the option to give the knees a little bit of a bend here, so don't feel like you have to lock them out. We're going to go into our pelvic rocking in this position. It might feel a little weird if you haven't done this before. You're going to pull the back of your belly button up towards the sky. Tuck your tailbone under like you have a tail and you're trying to wag it all the way between your legs. You're going to look between those legs and really feel this stretch across the skin of your back. As you breathe in, you'll drop the belly down, lift the tailbone up, think elongating instead of high with the tailbone. And then go ahead and curl right back into that round spine or your in-print. Breathe in to find that long neutral space, and breathe out to find that in-print. So you want this to come as much from the hips and the pelvis as you can. Try not to make it too much about the upper back between the ribs. We'll do 3 more of these. Exhale, find that imprint, that curl, ribs and hips glue together. Inhale, reach long, long, long. And then 1 more of these. Finding that nice long spine. And then walking your feet about 2 steps forward so that your shoulders can come down away from your ears and you're not as much stretching in the upper body. You're just nice and firm in your foundation. I'm going to bring all of my weight into my left foot, doesn't matter which one you want to start with, and send my right leg all the way straight back, almost parallel to my mat. Now prevent your hip from spilling open towards the side. Can you keep the knee and the toe facing directly down towards the ground? Find your core, find your strength as even as you can be in the hands. We're going to drop that toe down and lift that toe up. Drop that toe down and lift that toe up. So your classic hip extension here, just instead of being on all fours like we would typically do in our Perfect Peach classes, we're up standing, which is creating a little bit more challenge for those hips. Core stays active so the low back isn't changing. Leg doesn't have to go quite as high as long as you can find that tension in the glute, that squeeze in the core. Inner outer thighs working to keep that form. We'll do 4 of these. Exhale on that way up. Holding it up there on this last one, you're going to go an inch out, an inch in. An inch out, an inch in. Side of the hip working. Notice that supporting leg is also working. Try not to tip over to that supporting side as you open that leg. So it's purely outer inner thigh. We've got 4. 3, 2, you're going to hold that leg nice and steady, go the opposite direction, an inch in, an inch out, an inch in, an inch out. So you're squeezing that inner thigh as you try to cross the midline. Supporting side, ooh, it's crying for help. Find your core, find that length. Don't forget to breathe. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold that leg up there. Last thing, little circles. Little circles. So combining all of those moves, dropping down, circling out, We'll do both directions, so it doesn't matter which one you're taking. Try to make that circle larger. Hold steady in your center. Focus on that lift. Reverse your circle. One direction might feel more steady than the other. Listen to your body. You're here for 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Drop that foot. Take a stretch back. 2 big breaths here. Open up those glutes. If you need to bend the knees, you do. And then you'll wave that spine forward. Come back to your starting position. I'm staying on that same leg. This time, I'm going to turn out my knee so that my right ankle is tucked just behind my left ankle. Knees slightly turned out, knees slightly bent. Can you keep this leg turned out in what we call coupe? And you're just going to pulse it up and down, up and down. You want to think about your knee staying open to the side. Most important part here. So it doesn't have to go high, but keep that knee open so the side of your glute is working. You're almost opening that leg to a little diagonal instead of straight back. So you feel the side of your glute working as well. Little bend in that supporting knee. Promise it helps. We're here for 3, for 2. Hold it up there on 1. Isometric hold. Can you lift it an inch higher? You're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let that go. Little march. Notice how you're in this little mini plank here with your upper body. So your arms are working as pillars to support you. We're doing those same 2 series on the second side. We start parallel, activate those abdominals, send that left leg straight up, straight back, keeping that hip, that toe, that knee nice and square towards the ground, and then dropping and exhale to lift. Drop, exhale to lift. So you want to drop that toe all the way down. It's a full range of motion here, reaching as long as you can out those toes. Try to keep equal pressure under both hands. Trying to keep that low back totally still. Your leg doesn't have to be locked out straight. There can be a little bend in the knee if we need that to find better form. It's about the front of your hip. It's about that peach. Lifting here. You've got 4. Continue to exhale. Last 2. You know where we're going. Hold it up there. An inch out, an inch in. An inch out, an inch in. You're trying to keep that hip square towards the ground. So just because you're opening that leg doesn't mean you're turning out. We'll get to that turnout in this little bit. You know where we're going. We've got 4, 3, 2, opposite direction. Find inner thighs. Squeeze and open. Squeeze and open. Teeny tiny muscle doing the work. My inner thighs were burning from my workout yesterday, so boy, this is intense. Find that activation in your center. 3 more. 2 more. Heading into those circles next. Keep that leg up as high as you can. Really reach out that set of toes. Hips stay as steady and stable as they can. This is about your abdominals. Lift, lift, lift. Find that squeeze in the peach. Sporting side knee, bend a little bit. It'll help you. Reverse your circle. You've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Let that foot land. Stretch both hips back. Little bend in the knees. Big tailbone towards the sky. It'll relieve a little tension in that hamstring. And then when you're ready, you wave that spine forward. We come right back where we just were. But this time I'm turned out in my knee. Slightly bent so that the left ankle is tapping right behind that right ankle. And I open up to that little diagonal and close. Diagonal and close. Think about the knee. Think about the hip and the thigh bone doing the work. So you never want your foot to go higher than the knee. It's not about the lower half of your leg. It's about the side of your hip, the strength surrounding your hip from all directions. So we're not just working front to back. Finding that nice shape of the peach all the way around. We've got 4, 3, 2. You're going to hold it up there. See if you can lift 1 inch higher. Holding here for 5, 4, feel that shake. 2 and 1, drop it down. Little marches, right and left. From here, I'm going to start to walk the feet back, coming into that spine stretch we did earlier at the start of class. Think shoulders all the way up into the ears. From here, you're going to start to round your low back like that imprint, looking between those legs. But you're going to keep rolling through the spine until the weight shifts forward. You're coming up to those tiptoes, and you land all the way in a plank. One long diagonal line from those heels to those hips, to those shoulders, out the top back part of your head. Ribs and hips glued together. From here, hips stay steady, just like they did in that leg work. We're going to try to bring one knee to our chest, think mountain climber, and then step that foot back down. Other knee to your chest, step that foot back down. Slow and controlled mountain climber. Focus on your obliques, on your abs, pulling that knee up like it's attached with a fishing line. But that foot wants to hang out on the ground. So there's resistance there every time you pull in, instead of using momentum. Can you keep your spine long so no movement in the low back? We're going to pick up the pace here. Stay steady in those hands. Mountain climbing here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold that plank. Take a breath. Recollect your, we're going to open those legs just a little bit wider than those hips. So about the distance of your mat, we come into this star-shaped plank. Now I'm going to drop one forearm. In this case, it's my right forearm down across to match the front surface of my support. I'm going to start to turn my hips towards the left so my left hand reaches towards the sky. Feet drop down so both whole feet make their way to the mat. I'm in my side plank. Forearms drop like railroad tracks. Can you get that left forearm all the way across that front edge of your supporting surface? Turn those hips to the opposite direction and hover that right arm straight up towards the sky. Alternating sides, rolling here into that side plank. Finding that square forearm plank before we open up to the next side. Can your hips, can your chest both rotate at the same rate? Don't let one lead without the other. This is about your total body from head to heels, activating your center. I know you've got this balance in you. Find those shoulders, find those forearms. Boy, is this tough. You've got 3 more. Use that breath to move. It's there to help you. Last 2 sets. Oh yeah, open it up. We're almost done with this series. And then after that last side plank, come back to square. Press up to those hands and stretch those hips straight back. Find your long spine stretch. Hands are going to come off your surface, all the way reaching towards those toes. As the arms dangle down, can you nod your head yes? Shake your head no. Slowly pull that belly button towards your spine. Try to keep those arms by your ears as you roll up one bone at a time, starting with the low back, the mid back, shoulders, neck, head. They're last. Once you hit the top, drop those arms, shake out those shoulders. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my chair to face the other way just so I've got a little bit of a taller surface for this next set of exercises. Hanging on to that back edge of the chair just like you would a ballet bar. So that's what we're looking for here. Go ahead and bring your feet all the way together in parallel, and then your free hand can just hang out on your hip. From here, we're just going to do a side leg lift. So you'll exhale, lift that leg up to the side. Can you flex your foot and then just drop it down? Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Focus on keeping your torso nice and tall and pulling that core in, belly button up through those ribs as much as you can. You'll start to feel that side of the glute, outer thigh doing work almost immediately. And then in your supporting leg, go ahead and give yourself a little bend in the knee just so that you can hang out a little bit better in your balance. Really focus on that exhale. Feel that squeeze, feel that pinch every single time you lift. Reaching out nice and long out the heel this time instead of the toe, so a little bit different than when you were parallel. We're gonna do 4 of these, 3 of these, 2 of these. Hold that leg up there, little circles. Foot's flexed this time, hang on to those abdominals. Try to stay steady in your center. Ooh, feel that burn in that side of the glute. Reverse that circle. You've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop that foot, take a breath. You're gonna open up your toes so that you're in a Pilates V. Heels together, toes apart. We're gonna try to keep those heels glued together as you lift up onto your tiptoes and then lower those heels down. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. So can you keep equal pressure from that big toe to that pinky toe as those heels rise? You want to think about a string reaching out the top back part of your head, and that string is lifting you so those heels just rise with ease. Hanging on to that posture. Can you feel the backs of your thighs spiral towards one another a little bit more? So you might feel a little squeeze in the glutes when you tune into that sensation. Feeling that burn in the low part of the leg, isolating the calf like this fatigues pretty quickly. We're doing 5, 4, 3, 2. You're gonna hold those heels nice and high. From here, we're coming into a plie. Both knees are gonna bend. Stay up on your tiptoes. Zip the backs of the thighs together as you stand. Squeeze that booty, squeeze that peach. Breathe in as you bend to your little diamond. Breathe out as you lift. Try to keep those heels gluing together as you bend those knees. They might try to release from one another. And then think of both hips sinking even parallel to the floor, so it's not a little teeter-totter salsa dance on the way down, but it's nice and controlled, finding your form. If you can, lift up a little higher on those heels. It's easy to let them hang out, let them sag. We're gonna do 3, 2, on the last one, go ahead and hold that down. Now I'm going to send all my weight into the leg that's closest to my support, closest to my bar stool, and I'm going to sweep the opposite foot forward. Keep the turn out in the knee, set that toe down, and sweep it forward. So it's basically the opposite of your coupe that you did facing towards your support, sweeping that turned out knee forward this time instead of sweeping it back behind you. Working the front part of the hip, you might start to feel that burn pretty quickly. Hang on to your core. Last thing on this side, we're doing 3, we're doing 2. Try to hold it on that last one. Isometric hold, find a neutral spine. Don't let that spine collapse. Holding up on that tiptoe bottom supporting side. We're here for 3, for 2, for 1. Let that go. Little march, right to left. Now we're going to do that same series on the second side. I'm just going to move my support to the other side of my mat so that you don't have my backside facing towards you, but you can just turn right around and we'll get those feet all the way together, back at parallel. Starting with those side leg lifts, flexing your foot as you reach straight out. Imagine there's a pane of glass in front of you and behind you. You don't want to tap it with that leg as you pulse up. You're focusing on pulsing up with your exhale and then creating resistance as your leg starts to drop down. Now we'll do something similar in side lying position here right after this. So I really want you to be able to feel what this feels like, activating that side part of your leg without allowing it to turn out and without allowing those hips to move because you're so firm in that core. Reaching out that heel just changes the purpose of the move as opposed to when you were square reaching out that toe. Really find that length out the crown of your head. Exhale with each lift. We're here for 4, for 3, for 2. Hold it up there. You know where we're going, little circles. Really reach out that heel. Might be different on one side than the other. Try to stay steady in those hips. We don't want the low back rocking all over the place. Reverse your circle. You've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest that leg down, shoulders out of the ears. I'm gonna fan my toes open so I'm in Pilates V, and I'll start to take my calf raise, lifting to those tiptoes and lowering right back down. Breathing out to lift, in to lower. Now at this point you might feel a little bit uneven from one side to the other. Really use this lift to equal out those calves. Really use this lift to feel as centered as you can. Maybe you're picking a point to stare at across from you to help you with your balance so that you can keep equal pressure on that big toe and that pinky toe. Instead of thinking about your inner thighs gluing together or thinking about the backs of the thighs spiraling together, to turn on those muscles in our peach. Always looking for that lift. 3 more of these. Holding those heels up nice and high on that third one, bending both knees to your froggy little diamond, and then shooting those legs back tall. Froggy shape, knees go about over the second or third toe. Breathing in each time you bend those knees. Make sure that you're not scooping the tailbone under and flattening the curve in your low back. So you want to think neutral spine sliding down a wall, and neutral spine lifting nice and tall. Relax those shoulders, relax your neck. We're almost done with this side, and then we're going down to the mat for the whole rest of class. We've got 3 of these, 2 of these. We're holding the down on the last one, trying to bring all our weight into the leg closest to our support, and then sweeping our free foot forward and bringing it back down. Keep the bend in both knees. As you sweep forward, it's challenging to keep the spine neutral. We gotta think obliques here. Happy bunny tail reaching back behind us. Don't let those ribs and hips glue together, but keep nice long length in your front body. We're here for 4, for 3, for 2. We're holding up on 1, turn that knee out a little bit more. Lift 1 inch higher, isometric hold for 3, for 2, for 1. Little marches, drop those heels, shake out the neck, shake out the shoulders. Heading down to the mat here next for our side lying series. And I'm going to go ahead and lie on my side so that the first leg that I worked in standing side work is the first leg that I'm going to work on lying down side work. So from here, I want you to lie all the way down on your bottom arm, resting your head on that bent elbow. Both your knees are going to bend right in front of your hips, and they're stacked on top of one another so that your shins are about parallel to the front edge of your mat. Now, can you try to relax your neck and shoulders here? I know it's tough. And I'm just going to hover that top leg up so I've got about a fist distance between my knees, between my feet. Go ahead and flex that top foot. And then you're going to press that leg straight out from your hip and then bend that knee right back to table. Pressing that leg straight out and sending that knee forward back to tabletop. So you want the leg to come back behind you a tad so that it's in line with your spine instead of in line with that front edge of the mat. Now this bottom leg is supporting you, is keeping you stable. So there is some work on that side as well. If you start to feel that, just know that you're not wrong. And then you really want to reach out your heel so that we can go ahead and turn on our glute. Feel that squeeze, feel that lift in your seat every single time. I'm trying to lengthen this leg so long that it's almost longer than my bottom leg. What that's doing is picking up my bottom obliques away from my mat, and I'm trying to keep my bottom obliques lifted away from my mat. Now, next time your leg is straight, go ahead and hold it straight. You're going to pulse it up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch. You're trying to keep it parallel, so knee and toe facing forward towards that screen. It's just like those side leg lifts we did standing, but this time the support's a little bit different because you're more connected to your mat. Reaching nice and long out that heel. Try not to rock those hips. We're here for 3. We're here for 2. Hold that leg up on the last one. You're going to kick that leg forward towards the camera and then point your toe and kick it all the way back behind you. Flex, breathe in, kick forward. Point, breathe out, kick back. Sweeping your leg forward and back should feel good for your hip. There's that nice big extension in the back. And you also feel that big stretch in the hamstring. You get a little relief from that glute work that we've been working so hard on. We've got 3 more of these. 2 more of these. On the last one, I'm holding my leg back. I'm going to draw little circles here. Try to lift as you draw your circle and really feel that side of the hip muscle work. When you work that right muscle, it feels like a tiny little pinch. Go ahead and reverse this circle. Control it to level hips. Headlights pointing straight forward towards that screen. We've got 3. We've got 2. After this last one, my knee bends back in and it hangs out on top of that bottom leg. From here, we're going to prop yourself up on your forearm. You're absolutely welcome to stay lying down on your arm if propping yourself up is not something that works for your neck or your shoulder. So finding that connection to the mat no matter where you are. And then I'm going to take my feet back so they're about in line with my seat. So my knees are still at the front edge of the mat, but my feet are back in line with my tailbone. Those connected feet are going to hover up off the ground, and we're going to go ahead and take your clam. You'll open that top knee and then close that top knee. Breathe out as you open, breathe in as you close. Finding that same muscle that worked when we turned out for a coupe and for those Pilates feet, little plies. So notice how everything's connecting here. The core is working to keep you steady. If you're up on that forearm, your arm's doing some work to keep you steady. We've got 3. We've got 2. And then after this last one, close those knees, set those feet down, and I'm going to prop myself all the way up so that I'm sitting here. Once you're sitting, you're going to try to square yourself off as much as you can. You feel a little funky here. We're like the little mermaid perched up on her rock. We're going to do the exercise mermaid from here. Arms are going to go to a T. All you'll do is tip over, right where your forearm was before, your hand is going to land. You're going to reach your top arm up overhead, trying to keep your hip reaching down towards the ground. So oppositional pull, big old stretch. From here, use your side body, use your obliques to hover all the way back up to that letter T. And then you're going to grab onto your shins and stretch towards the opposite direction. Lateral flexion, amazing for your obliques. You'll grow nice and tall to a T. And then you'll tip over towards that open side. Reach, reach, reach. Lift to your T. Grab your shin and tip over towards that leg side. One more in each direction. Feel a little cramped up here, but feels great. Amazing stretch between those ribs. And then once you're even here on both sides, I'm going to turn my knees so that I'm sitting all the way facing one direction. I'll grab the backs of my legs and roll all the way down onto my back, resting the head, neck, and shoulders, and really grounding across the backs of my arms. We're going to get ready for some bridge work. Dig into those heels. Flex your toes up towards the sky. Spine's long, spine's neutral. Spine's going to stay long and neutral. Big inhale to prepare. Exhale, squeeze the glutes. Send the hips straight up towards the sky like 2 helium balloons are picking them up. So high that your hips are reaching over the knees towards those toes. And think about squeezing a ball between your knees. Turn on your inner thighs. I'm going to let my tailbone start to sink down towards the mat. It's not going to tap the mat. Keep your sits bones drawing close in towards one another. And right when you're about a centimeter off of that below support surface, you'll squeeze those glutes and power right back up to your bridge. Lowering slow, slow, slow with control. I'm about to find that mat with my tailbone, not my low back. Remember, you're neutral. And then power straight back up. Sits bones are as close together as they can be. Really squeeze those glutes. You want to find the work in the right places. Sometimes our glutes forget to fire, and in that case, we might start to cramp up in the hamstrings. You're looking to really get that blood flow circulating by sending the hips higher than the neck. We'll do 3 of these. Core is always active for 2 of these. On the last one, my hips are going to stay high. We're going to take this into a little march. 1 leg at a time comes to tabletop. That heel lands back down. So we're trying to focus on the heels here, keeping the toes flexed towards the knees. The goal is as steady and stable across the hips as you can be. The tabletop leg hip is going to want to sag down towards your mat. Keep it as elevated as you can. Really find your center. Power behind those arms, it'll help you. Let's just do 1 more on each side. These are tough. And then after you're even on both sides, try to lift those hips 1 inch higher before you lower the glutes all the way down for the ground. And then once you get there, go ahead and just hug both knees in towards your chest, flatten the curve of your low back, and draw a little circle with those knees. I'm going clockwise first. It doesn't matter which direction you go first. Once you've done about 3 or 4 in that one direction, you'll just go ahead and reverse. This frees up the backs and fronts of your hips really nicely. Also gives you a little massage across the sacrum. Once you're done in that other direction, you're going to bring your feet right back down to the mat where they were. But this time, instead of the heels into the mat, our toes are going to be on the mat. So your heels are lifted nice and high, finding some activation in those calves. And we're going to try to work that support in your ankles. So make sure your heels aren't so high that the ankles are spilling out towards the sides. You're in your alignment. This time we're also going to articulate your bridge. Can you start with an imprint spine? Can you find this imprint spine keeping your neck relaxed? Can you find this imprint spine keeping your glutes relaxed? Once you've found that pure core, deep internal connection, then I'll have you move your sits bones closer together and start to peel up and away 1 bone at a time into your bridge, like Velcro or a string of pearls. 1 at a time, lifts, lifts, lifts. Hips reach over those knees. And then 1 at a time, lowers, lowers, lowers. You're starting with the heart as you try to tuck that pubic bone up towards your nose. 1 bone at a time drops. And finally, that tailbone relaxes us to neutral. We're doing 2 more of those. Belly button comes down. Lift those hips 1 bone at a time. Ribs stay in the back half of your body. Keep them closed. Next, relax as I drop the heart. Tuck the tailbone even more. Articulate through that low back. And then relax back to neutral. On this last one, you're going to hold the hips up when you get there. Roll all the way up. Keep that firm pressure. Big toe, pinky toe on both sides. And then from here, take an exhale to lift both arms towards the ceiling. Take an inhale to drop them back down. Exhale, lift both arms to the ceiling. Inhale, drop them back down. We're doing 3 of these. Beautiful. Keep those ribs closed for 2 more. You're going to hold those arms up nice and high. From here, I'll drop the heels, lift the heels. Drop the heels, lift the heels. Can you lift both by articulating through the foot, through the ankle, just like you were in your spine? Can you keep both glutes on? Keep both hips steady. We've got 3. Feel that shake for 2. And then after this last one, both heels go down. Both feet are flat on the ground. Feel that relief. Feels nice. Hips are staying up. From here, my elbows are going to start to bend out wide towards the side. Think 90 degrees like a little scarecrow. And then I'm going to shoot the arms right back up. 90 degrees like a little scarecrow. And then shoot the arms right back up. Now we're going to add on to this. So find that chest moving. Commit this to muscle memory. And then each time those elbows bend open wide, you're going to send the hips down an inch. Reach for the sky with the hips and the fingertips up an inch. Hips lower down as those elbows bend. Hips lift as those arms straighten. Really feel that squeeze in the glutes. Feel that belly button pulling towards the spine. More protection for the low back. We're here for 4. This is all about your posture. For 3. For 2. You'll hold the hands, the hips nice and high. Keep the hands high as you roll your bridge all the way down. And then kick your right leg straight up towards the sky. Grab behind it and send that left leg long alongside the mat for a nice big hamstring stretch. Now you can hold wherever on the back of your leg. You just want to think tailbone in one direction and heel foot in the opposite direction. Reach, reach, reach. Try to relax in front of and behind the knee. And then we'll just slowly go ahead and switch sides. Left leg's gonna kick straight up, right leg goes long on that mat. One leg might be different than the other, listen to your body. Try to take the shoulders and the neck out of it if they're trying to grip on. And then really relax into that hip bone. Sink that thigh bone as heavy as it can be with gravity. Take 2 more breaths here. And then after that second breath, you're just gonna make your way all the way to sit on up. From here, we'll swing the legs around and we're gonna come into our side lying position on the second side. You forgot we had a second side to do for that side lying, didn't you? Knees are lined up at the front edge of the mat as well as those ankles. Stacked right on top of one another, and we're starting lying down on that bottom arm. Hover top knee, top ankles, so they're about parallel to that hip, about a fist distance apart. You're flexing that top foot. Really squeeze through your glute as you lengthen that leg as far as you can out long, and then bend that knee right back in front of your hip. Keep yourself in neutral so you feel those hips come into their stack as you reach your leg long. Keep them in their stack as that knee sways forward in front of the hip. Reach, reach, reach. Try to line up your leg with your spine. So back edge of the mat. You'll feel your booty squeeze a little bit when you work in that range of motion instead of aiming your heel for the front corner of the mat. There's also a little bit of challenge in that bottom leg to hold you steady on your side. Exhale each time that leg goes long. Really reach out that heel. Turn on your back body, and then hold that leg out long on this next one. We're going to start with your lift and your lower. Lift and lower. You want to exhale each time you lift. You want to keep that knee and toe facing straight forward towards the screen. It's very easy for them to start to turn out because your leg can go higher if you turn out. It is not about the height here. It's about the form. Feeling that outer thigh and inner thigh doing the work. Hanging on to those abdominals in your neutral spine. We're here for 3. For 2, you'll hold it up there. Keep that foot flexed, kick forward, point that toe to sweep back. Flex, breathe in to kick front. Point, breathe out to kick back. A little relief for the hip on this one. Feeling that length across the front body as your leg swings behind you. Can you make sure that it's straight in both directions? On the next one, we're holding the leg in the back position and we're drawing small little circles here. As you draw your circles, notice that your hips might want to rock all over the place. Make the circle as slow and as small as you need to find that form. Focusing on the lifted part of the circle, and then reversing its direction. We're here for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend that knee in, drop it on top of that bottom leg, and then we're coming up to your forearm. Prop yourself up so you're in that mini side plank. There's work there in those obliques. You feel it. My feet are going to come back in line with my seat, and then those connected feet will lift up for your clamp. Just that top knee opens, just that top knee closes. So no movement in that bottom leg, but work in that bottom leg to hold it still. To hold those feet elevated makes this harder if you need to keep the feet down and continue with opening and closing the knee. That's always your option. Only open as far as that hip stays facing forward. We're here for 3. We are here for 2. We are here for 1. Go ahead and drop those knees, drop those feet. prop yourself all the way up to sit and reach those arms out like a nice big T. Breathe in as you lean over towards that open side where your forearm just was. Reach up overhead. Big inhale, stretch between those ribs. Exhale, lift all the way back to your T. And then grab onto those shins, counter stretch in that mermaid shape. Grow as tall as you can, side bend. We've got 2 more of these. Feel the muscles between your ribs expand and feel that side body crunch in your torso. Last one in each direction. Really try to ground those hips. Think about your ribs shining towards the sky. And then once you're done with this counter stretch, we'll turn to face the other side of your mat. And you'll roll all the way down onto your back like you did after that first side. But this time it's your core work, our last series for the class. Find your neutral spine, collect those abdominals, feel heavy in the tailbone, feel relaxed in the neck. Let's go ahead and flip those arms about 2 inches away from the mat. We're going to go into your ab curl. So big inhale, exhale, nod the chin towards the chest, lift that head, look between your knees, hold that chest lift. Can you keep your pelvis in a neutral position? So that means there's a little space between my low back and the mat here. I'm not just smushing it down, but I'm heavier in the tailbone than I am in the low back. Once you're in that chest lift we hold, you're going to reach right hand to right heel, and then left hand to left heel. We're going to do this for 3 sets. We'll move here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Try to hold that pelvis still. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the shoulders, neck, head. Take a breath. Second set, inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift that head, neck, and chest. Hold it up. Start to reach side to side, little penguins. You're trying to keep your hips totally still as your rib cage rocks from side to side. You've got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest it down. Take a breath. Just 1 more set of those. Activate those abdominals, navel to spine, spine to navel, all the way around, not just those front surface abs. We'll lift the head, neck, and chest, come into your curl. Start to tick-tock side to side. We're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the shoulders, neck, head. Take a nice big breath. Relax the shoulders. Relax the neck. I'm going to send 1 leg at a time to tabletop. This time I do want to imprint the spine. So I'm smushing that cherry tomato space behind my low back. Now remember that froggy position from your Pilates V, from your plie. We're coming into that. Heels together, toes apart. I've created a small little diamond shape with my knees. This time, I'm going to reach my hands straight through those legs. You can stack one hand on top of the other. Take your chest lift, hold your chest lift, tiny pulses through those legs. So you're keeping your head up, you're feeling those upper and lower abdominals meet, you're smashing the back of the belly button down into the mat below you, not letting it puff up or tense up, but pulling it in like you're wearing a corset. Finding these froggy pulses. We've just got 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, pause on 1. To transition to your next move, both these hands are going to go outside my right knee. Both my knees are going to close, come back to tabletop. I'm going to pulse to just that right side. Lift, lift, lift. Finding that oblique crunch. Think about your left rib meeting your right hip. Little twist with every lift. Every lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold that up. Keeping your upper body still. Can you unfold both legs straight up towards the sky? You're going to take scissors, dropping the right leg and then dropping the left. Dropping the right leg and dropping the left. Can you hold this twist with your upper body? Getting a break after this move. We're here for 5, for 4, for 3, smash that belly button down for 2. And then after this last one, hug both knees to your chest. Take a nice big breath. Any tension out of the head, maybe shake it like you're saying no, feels good. Before we go to that second side, you're going to kick both legs straight up. Flex those toes towards your nose. Arms reach straight up. And you're going to go ahead and try to tap those toes. Curl it up, tap, curl it back down. Curl it up, tap, curl it back down. So you feel a lot of work here in that center. All the way around those abdominals, not just that front surface. Reaching with those hamstrings, big stretch. Bend the knees a tiny bit here so you can reach those toes a little easier. We're doing 8 more of these. You got this. Keep exhaling each time you lift. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, both legs drop to tabletop. Both hands stack, twist over to the left. Little pulses with the obliques over to the left. Try to keep that low body still as you pulse those abs. Think right rib, left hip. Pulling that belly button in and up. Teeny pulses here, an inch in either direction. Deeper work when we work smaller. We're here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold it there, unfold those legs, take your scissors. One leg at a time, dropping. Let those legs pass by one another. Try to stay still in the torso. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Big hug, knees to chest. Hold those elbows out wide. Feel your shoulders draw down your back. And start to press the palms and the shins in towards one another. We're going to curl your head, neck, and chest up so you're looking between those knees. And we're going to start to rock back and forth for your rolling like a ball. Nice massage across the spine. Remember, equal pressure, shins to hands, hands to shins. You're using that pressure with the elbows bent out wide to help you activate your core and your back so that you can stay controlled and roll in one long straight line in both directions. Keep that chin in so your neck's nice and protected. Keep that core in. If you can, keep the inner thighs glued together. We are doing 3 more of these rolls. On the third one, you're going to land all the way up to take a nice big seat. Stretch those legs out long in front of you. Reach for the sky. And take your spine stretch forward all the way over those legs. Try to grab onto something. It might be your shins, it might be your ankles, it might be your feet. Slowing down your heart rate and your breath as you collapse the forehead as close to the legs as you can. Relax in front of and behind your knees here. Feel that length. We're taking 2 more breaths. And then on this last breath, you'll roll all the way up to sit vertical. And I'm going to prop myself up on my hands behind me. From here, your knees will bend in and your feet will ground. Propped up on your hands, you're going to try to use your abdominals, lowest, deepest abdominals. So pull those legs up to tabletop and set those feet back down. Pull those legs to tabletop and set those feet back down. Last working exercise here. Really scoop with that core. Keep your neck and your shoulders relaxed. Think about it coming from those lowest, deepest abdominals. Your pelvic floor's lifting. Squeezing the inner thighs helps you. Shins about parallel to the floor. You've got 3. You've got 2. And then 1 more. Drop those feet. Take a breath. You're going to walk the feet out as wide as the mat. And we're going to take a windshield wiper with the knees. Freeing up your hips. They did lots of work today. Both drop over to the left. And then both come up and drop over to the right. Freeing up those hips. Relax as much as you can in the glutes. And then just let them swing from right to left, nice and free. Slow down your breath, slow down your heart rate. We'll do 2 more of these. And then after this last one, go ahead and sit up nice and tall. I'm going to pull one foot in towards me, bending that knee out towards the side, and have my other leg kicked straight out. I'm just reaching forward for that long, straight leg, feeling a nice stretch across my QL side of the spine. I'm going to try to open up my heart towards the bent knee side, reaching up overhead, opening up the chest like you were in your mermaid, feeling even more length in the spine. And then we'll slowly roll up and do the same thing with the other leg kicked in. Same exact thing, start by reaching forward towards that straight leg. Really feel that stretch in the back side part of your spine. And then start to open up your heart towards the bent knee side. Feel even more length in your spine. It's okay if those arms aren't even close to reaching your foot. And then you'll roll all the way up and give yourself a hand. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous work today. That bar workout, boy, are they hard. I can't wait to see you next time at the mat. Thanks again for tuning in to BG Live.